Week 4 is behind us. We are now heading into week 5 of the fantasy season. So let's get into it. We have 5 moves to make for week 5 of fantasy. Move number 1, go out and add Jaleel Mcluaghlin off of waivers. Currently available in 49% of leagues, and he now becomes the priority add with Javonte Williams going down again. Now, we don't know the severity, right? Javonte Williams could be perfectly fine. But the point is, he left the game in Chicago, did not return, and basically it ended up being a 50-50 split, slightly leaning in favor of McLaughlin in this backfield. He out-earns Pirine 10-8. He outgains Pirine 104 to 35 yards. So he is more dynamic. He is more explosive. He has an opportunity to earn a very meaningful role should Javonte miss a significant amount of time. Whether it's redraft or it's dynasty, he is the number 1 waiver wire ad right now. Move number 2 is spicy. I think people may not be super receptive to this at this point in the season, but I'm going to throw it out there anyways. I think it's time to start looking to pivot off of Jaylen Waddle. Now, I'm not saying he is an outright sell no matter what, but when we start to dig into what he's done over the first month of the season, right? Obviously misses a game, so 3 weeks for him. His target share by week of the season, right? 11% in week 1, 20% in week 2. Obviously misses week 3, but comes back in week 4 and puts up a 14% target share. Now, we know Jaylen Waddle is talented. That's not a question. However, his ability to earn targets right now is not where it needs to be, at least in this current iteration of the Miami Dolphins offense. Now, I'm not saying sell off Jaylen Waddle for anything. That's not what you do here. When I say pivot, there are guys that are going after him in the DLF startup ADP from September that I am very, very interested in. And you can get a plus on top of all of these players. DK Metcalf, Devontae Smith, and Brandon Ayuk. Brandon Ayuk is still going outside of the top 20 wide receivers in startup ADP, which is insane to me. That's probably going to change after week 4 here. But still, if I can pivot off of Jaylen Waddle to Brandon Ayuk and get multiple picks attached or a first-round pick attached, that is a no-brainer. And based on the startup ADP, that is more than doable, right? You are looking at massive several round gaps in talent, at least as it's perceived by people on DLF that are running startups right now. These are just things to keep in mind. It is not a full-blown panic on Jaylen Waddle. However, there are other pieces you can move to that carry similar value, provide similar production, and get you additional assets back. Before I get to move number 3, guys, if you want 2 additional moves, if you want 7 moves to make, check out the DLF YouTube memberships. There is a ton of extra content from myself, from Addison. We are dropping multiple videos every single week just for our YouTube members. So go ahead, check that out, guys. The bonus content tier underneath that DLF YouTube membership. We appreciate any support you guys can give us. All right, let's get back into it. Move number 3, it's go out and buy Joe Mixon if you're a contending roster, right? Obviously, if you're rebuilding, skip past this one. You're not buying Joe Mixon. But the reason I'm buying Joe Mixon as a contender is, 1, he's seeing 18 opportunities per game through the first month. He is the entire backfield, right? Travion Williams, Chase Brown really aren't all that involved. All of it runs through Joe Mixon. He has yet to have a blow-up game, right? He has not had a monster game by any stretch of the imagination so far. And a lot of that comes with just the entire offense is struggling, and that's almost expected right now because Joe Burrow is not 100%. Joe Burrow is very clearly hurt, but you know what's going to happen as this season goes on? Joe Burrow is going to get healthier. They have a bye week coming up in a few weeks here. Coming out of that offense could click and really kind of explode over the second half of the season. So if I am a contender and I'm looking for running back help, which looking across the landscape, most teams probably are, I'm going to try to go make a move for Joe Mixon. I think you can go get him for probably 2 seconds. A 2024 second and a 2025 second might get it done if he's on a team that is just kind of faltering. They're 1-3, 0-4. They don't really know where they fit in this season in terms of rebuilding the contenders. That could push them over the top to go ahead and rebuild. Sticking with the trade theme here, move number 4, it is go out and sell Courtland Sutton. And I get, Courtland Sutton's been a nice surprise through the first month of the season, right? His points per game is well ahead of what a lot of us anticipated. People might be thinking, maybe I found a diamond in the rough. This is the Courtland Sutton breakout that a lot of people have been clamoring for several years. I don't think that's the case, though. The numbers don't bear that out. He has 3 touchdowns through the first month of the season. That's not going to be sustainable for Courtland Sutton, and especially this Denver offense. He also has a 21% target share. I mean, that doesn't scream weekly wide receiver too. It just doesn't. It's not sustainable. And Jerry Jeudy is there. Marvin Mims, for whatever reason, is not earning more work, but he should, and I think he will over the course of the season. So Courtland Sutton right now is operating a very fine line where if he doesn't fall into the end zone, he busts, and if he does get into the end zone, he's a wide receiver 2-ish. He has yet to top 20 points. He's now turned from a guy that I think nobody wanted in the offseason. You could not get rid of Courtland Sutton. Now contenders might be looking over there and thinking, okay, Courtland Sutton has flex value. He has wide receiver 2 value. And if someone is buying into that, this is where I'm going to go trade for seconds. I'm going to try to trade for equivalent value there. Maybe I go get like Josh Downs and something attached to it. I think those are moves I'd be happy to make to get off of Courtland Sutton on the rosters I still have him on. And to close us out, guys, our fifth and final move, we have to bench Kyle Pitts. There's no way you can continually justify starting him if you have basically any other option. He has 11 catches on the season. You just can't trust him. You can't do anything with him. And it sucks because I think all of us, like, we use our eyes and we're like, yeah, Kyle Pitts is good. Kyle Pitts is a very, very good player. He's athletic. He can do everything a wide receiver can do, but the utilization is not there. There's also a comment on this week's broadcast that he's not fully healthy, and the coaching staff knows that. So it's just, what do you do? And the answer is bench him. I'm not trading him away because I will live on sunk cost with Kyle Pitts. I don't care if he dies on my roster. Like, I will not be moving him at this value. Whether Heineke comes in and turns this around, or, right, there's those trade rumors that are floated out there that I don't really buy, but say Kyle Pitts gets traded, the situation is going to get better. So I am sticking with Kyle Pitts on my roster, but he is not coming anywhere near my lineups right now. All right, guys, that is all I have for you. Again, if you like what we're doing here, subscribe. If you have questions, you have comments, drop it down below. If you want 2 extra moves, if you want additional content every single week at this channel, check out the DLF YouTube membership. Again, the bonus content tier. As always, guys, thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.